And welcome back to BTCC Legends on SBR Sim Racing, and this is going to be race 2 at Brands Hatch, and this is the reverse grid, so fully reverse grid, and it's going to be chaos. I may lose my voice at the end of this one, but this is where the action and the guys in the midfield can possibly pull off a win. So there's the grid then. So like I say, it's fully reverse, so you've got Chris, Leon, Jason, Ian, Andrew, Coleman, Ash, Jeff, Lewis, Liam, that looks like Dylan, Sean, then Nathan, and then Ben, who won the first race at the back of the grid. Prepare for action and chaos, I would have thought, as the guys line up. So who will come through, who will pit, and who will hold on for victory? And all the guys then were off, and it's a good start. A terrible start from Ian though, and he's bunched up the whole midfield, and Liam's shot through like a rattlesnake, and he's gained a lot of positions. But it is Chris that leads ahead of Leon, and into third place is Jason, who's got a great chance of winning. And Lewis is off already. He's been nudged off by possibly Coleman, who's also into the side of Andrew, into Druids there, and the guys that are trying to come through, the fast guys. Sean looks like he's come through the middle, and he's trying to go around the outside of Andrew. Andrew won't take that, and he'll force him wide. That was inevitable. That's touring car racing for you. And it looks like even Nathan might have a move down the inside of Sean as they go into Surtees, and now down onto the back straight. But it is now actually Leon who's taking the lead off Chris, and then a bunch of BMWs following him, which I can't tell you who's in front because they're all side by side, but it looks like it could be Jason that holds off Ashley, and then Dylan through, and Liam onto the back of Dylan, and he's going to try the move that he pulled in the first race, but this time Dylan's wise to it, and he even makes a move on Ashley, pushes him slightly wide, but that was pretty fair. Ashley's not taking it though, he's holding on around the outside. That's brave into Sheens, surely that won't work. One of them surely will end up on the grass, and it is Ashley. Ashley's bouncing along the grass, lost 2-3 positions as Coleman swoops around the outside, and a little bit more contact, but Ashley actually retakes the place from Coleman. Must have had a better drive out of Sterling's there as they head through at the end of the action-packed first lap, and it is chaos. This is what I can say, as the fast guys now starting to come through the midfield. Liam into Paddock Hill Bend, a little bit of dust kicked up there, and that's the leader. I believe that's the leader. It is. It's Leon. Leon's in the barrier, and he's thrown away the lead that he had. Spins, turns the car, and reports also saying there was another car off, but we haven't seen that, so difficult to judge. I'm trying to look through the field to see who it possibly could have been, but at the moment not really seen anyone missing. But as they head up through, and Sean's missing from there. Sean was there with Nathan, so where is he gone? Ben makes a move there on Ian and is past 2 cars. There's Sean. Look at the damage on the car, so where is he crashed? And we have a replay in slow motion as they all head in towards Paddock. A little bit of contact with Andrew coming into the corner. Andrew's gone wide there, so he's thinking about a switchback, but it's hard to see how the collision might have happened at this moment. And Andrew's carrying a lot of mid-corner speed, hits the back of Sean there, so that's probably put Sean wide. And all I can say about the rest of this is he's off at Paddock. He's kicked the dust up, he's lost the back end of the Alpha, and straight across to the barrier on the inside of a very, very big crash. But another Scotsman off at Paddock, as at the front Jason now takes the lead with what is a complete train of BMWs out front. So yep, Jason ahead of Dylan and Liam looking feisty, and Ash looking like he's going tracking, so flash to the light, so he feels like he was forced off there, and Nathan takes advantage of that to move into 6th place. Nathan from the back up at 6th already. Contact there between Andrew and Chris takes that, and Ben seizes the opportunity to relieve Andrew of 9th place, so coming through quite nicely as well. But Sean's the big loser, crashing at Paddock as Ian tries to move on Ian, but Ian tries to move on Andrew. That was never going to work, but now he's got the cut back quite nicely now on the Brabham straight, heading towards Paddock Hill Bend. We've seen enough action already, and in the front of that I can see it looks like Ben making a move up the inside of someone as well, so up into 8th place. And it's the battle for the lead, all three BMWs, and Liam's managed to pass both of them. Dylan's on the grass, Liam takes the lead. Dylan and Jason go into battle for second place as they flash past us in a freight train of fighting cars. And Dylan second now with Jason right behind him, but it's quite significant that Liam's taking the lead. He's probably got the pace to pull away, to be honest with you, after we saw in the first race. Coleman holding on well with Lewis right behind him, Ash doing well in 7th as well. So we head down again into the back part of the circuit. Nathan's done really well to get where he is already, but Liam looks like the man that could start pulling away, and he's already pulled about 2 or 3 car lengths as they head through now down into Dingledale and Sheens and then into Sterling's. But Liam stretching his lead, doing a great job. And it's BMW, 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 Toyota, Toyota. So, and Nathan also sliding on the back of that, and in the background there we see Ash is being caught by Ben. So Ben overtook Chris as well into what looked like into a paddock there. And Jeff driving around, and Sean's now caught the pack, so what's left of his Alpha he can use to try and move back up through the field. But it's Liam that leads with a nice lead. Took the lead a lap ago and passed these two up into Druids. Jason hanging on to Dylan well, showing what he could have done in the first race. Oh, that's Lewis dive bombs on Coleman, but just about managed to hold off Nathan. Nathan's still thinking about the move as they go out of Graham Hill Bend. Had a nice line through Graham Hill and will try into Surtees. Coleman's completely sideways in front of them, but manages to hold it. I've seen Andrew running slightly wide in the background as Lewis does make his move on Coleman, and the side-by-side contact, but all's well, and Nathan's trying to sneak down the inside with the fast Lexus, not quite pulling it off, and round the outside again. He tried this in the first race and it worked. He's done it again to Lewis. Great move. And he didn't actually try that in the first race. I don't know what I'm talking about. Sideways from Coleman. Nathan trying, and contact between Nathan and Lewis. Complete chaos. Lewis trying around the outside of Sterling's, but that's not gonna work. Nope. Tries to cut back, but these guys are at it, a hammer and tongs now as they head towards the end of this lap. And Nathan thinking about a move into the last corner on Coleman. That's brave. All kicks up the dust. Lewis gets the cut back. Coleman heads for the pits as he did in the first race to try and change tyres, and he does. He's in for 4 new tyres, a tactic that worked well for him in the first race, so let's see if it works again. No one else looking like they're taking tyres. Oh, Ben's been in as well, so he'll try and gain an advantage from that and try and rocket through the rest of the field. And he comes out in 10th place as wide into paddock go Ian and Jeff as they're recovering. Ben takes both of them. Ian on the grass recovers, Jeff goes wide, so Ben did well to avoid all that and take 2 positions, so he'll be relieved because he came out in a lot of traffic. So let's see what he can do now with Coleman right in front of him, which will be harder to overtake because he also has new tyres. Ash staying out this time in 6th place. Meanwhile, Lewis there tracking Nathan, but Nathan made the move a lap ago, and we'll be heading towards now the BMWs that are dominating this race at the moment. Liam's lead is still slightly extending, and Dylan's just keeping a watching brief at the moment as they head through Sheens. Liam looking pretty secure out front at the moment as he edges away, but mindful that Nathan's still in there. Dust being kicked up again, and Nathan makes a great move on Jason into Sterling's, and it's worked, and that's given Lewis an opportunity as well as he flashes through Sterling's, gets a great run on Jason. Will he be able to pull it around the outside at Clark's? Nope, and if anything it will be pushed wide. Nope, and Lewis even pits. Now he thinks this is just getting silly. I'll get new tyres on and see if I can beat these guys later with my tyres, fresh tyres, and a very interesting choice of colour for his pit crew there. But I think we saw a move being overtaken. It looks like Ben overtaking someone as Ashley pits, and it is Ben overtaking someone. And looks like he pulled it off. Yes, he has, and it was on Coleman. So well, that's good news because they're both on new tyres. Ian in the background gives him a little bit of a nudge, help Coleman on his way, no doubt. But Ian's struggling a little bit more in this race as his friend from the first race, Jeff, comes up to battle him, and they should know each other pretty well, having raced each other for the whole of the first race. But here we go then, and Liam leads, and it's a massive lead now. It looks like Dylan may have made a mistake. We're just going to look in the background to see where he is, and it is Nathan in second place now, so Liam won't be happy about that because they know Nathan's got great speed around here. But Liam still has a great gap and it's a great opportunity to win this race. Through Sheens, dips a wheel off, and he shouldn't have done that, and he's lost the back end of the BMW into the barrier. Heavy collision, spins the car back round, gets back going, but he just gets in front of Dylan, and Dylan almost annihilates the back end of the car and manages to keep the car on the track at Sterling's. And that was a little bit naughty from Liam coming back on the track in front of Dylan like that. But what's more interesting is that he's lost the lead down to 4th place, and he pits for tyres as well, so he feels like he's ruined those in that spin. Liam throwing away what probably was a certain victory, and pits for new tyres. Will that get him back into the race? But he rejoins the race behind Ben, who was already pitted, we know that. So he rejoins, and Coleman's coming around the outside of him, takes away 6th place as well. Liam sideways is again into paddock, so he's completely lost the opportunity. And another crash in the background here. Looks like Sean was involved with Ian and Jeff, and Sean has taken both of those guys. Ash struggling a little bit in this race in 11th, and Andrew bringing up the rear. But now Nathan has been gifted the win. Surely now he's on his own, and he's not one to make mistakes. Jason in second place looking good. Dylan recovering in 3rd after a spin that we didn't see. Lewis in 4th with his fresh tyres and his pink pit crew, and Ben closing in quickly in 5th, so his pit stop did actually work. It's moved him up a few more positions and got fresh air. But Coleman now will come under attack from Liam, who's got to be kicking himself after a mistake like that. So unlike Liam, he's normally pretty consistent. I've never feisty Scotsman, and shame he didn't go off the paddock because I could have said it again. But Dylan now starting to move back towards Jason. He's overtaken him once in this race, and he'll be pretty confident of doing it again. The Anthony Reid livery against the Tordorf livery, the Ingram livery on fresh tyres is moving in, as is the Andy Rouse livery in 5th place. Liam in 6th. New tyres past Coleman, so he's also done that around Sterling's area. And into another lap, and Sean on used tyres in 8th place, coming back after crashing here on the 2nd lap after a helpful nudge from Andrew sideways from Ian. We've seen that a lot. And actually Ash is in 10th place as Jeff has pitted late on again like he did in the first race, and it did work for him in that race. He gained about 4 or 5 positions late on as people really struggled with tyres, so let's see if it works for him again. Nathan though looks like he's on his way to victory, and that after a 2nd place in the first race will have him leading the standings. Not sure who's going to be 2nd. It looks like it's between these two, and Dylan has made the move actually on Jason there, so I think we might have missed that one. And these two homing into view as well. Jason probably will start to struggle. Lewis attacking, trying to make his moves in the final laps. Liam, just it's so unlike Liam to make a mistake like that, but he did, and that was the end of that. He's kind of nailed on in 6th place at the moment of trying to catch the guys in front of him with his fresh tyres, and Coleman's off now, and that's a masterful recovery, but he will get a slowdown penalty. He has, and that promotes Sean into 7th place in the Alpha. And what's left of the Alpha, and side by side across the line, and Lewis is now attacking Jason for 3rd place in this race, the final podium slot. Bit of contact, but Lewis holds the outside line. Can he keep it all the way around the outside? Banging door handles into Druids. It'll be brave if he holds that around the outside. Jason's just got to run him right out to the edge of the track, but he doesn't. He gives him racing room. Lewis is completely off the track, but still makes the move down into Graham Hill Bend. More contact, and Lewis takes the place. Bad news for Jason is that Ben's now homing into view, and Liam's not that far back. You can see him going through Graham Hill Bend. Wide from Lewis though. Jason has an opportunity to come back, runs a bit deep, and Ben's got the run on him now down towards Pilgrim's Drop. Takes the slipstream. The Subaru livery Mondeo is not the fastest in the straight line. He's having trouble trying to go through, so we'll try the outside line. We saw this work for Nathan earlier in the race, and this worked for Ben. He swoops through his superior grip. Jason on the grass as he tries to understand what's just happened. and Liam's actually not that far back, he's moving in as well, and you can see these two battling, but Ben is through and should pull away a little bit now. Liam though will be anxious to try and get back in front of those guys. He's done exactly the same again. I can't believe he's made the same mistake. He comes out in front of Sean there, and it's just the fine margins between success and disaster. 7th place for Liam now, and Coleman's probably thinking he can probably get a run on him as well, because Liam's going to probably done his tyres again. But to make the same mistake twice, that's just so unlike Liam. And Coleman's off on the straight. That's going to end in tears. Hits the inside barrier, sparks fly. Can he get going before Ian and Ash come along? It looks like he's got enough speed to hold them off into paddock. Ian makes a dive at it though, and runs wide, and Ash will take the place. Ash doing a lot better than he predicted. He said he would be one of the slower guys, but to be honest with you, he looks like he's fairly secure in the midfield as Jeff starts to move in towards his old mate Ian. These two just, like I say, joined at the hip most races, and bringing up the rear still Andrew's not having a great race despite having a good race one where I believe he finished 10th. This is an over third though, for Ben's moved in now on Lewis. Similar tyre age, I think Lewis was just a lap after Ben, so these guys fighting it out. Sean's got Liam behind him, but I don't know if Liam's got enough pace now to catch Sean, but fresher tyres, we know that, because Sean has not pitted. Ian wide there. He's starting to feel the age of his tyres as Jeff comes through now. Jeff will try to hang it around the outside, probably think about a cutback sideways again from Ian. He is the drift king of the championship by the looks of it, and Jeff's through and takes the final point. But it is Nathan that's going to win this race, and does win the race, ahead of Dylan, who's got a penalty but he'll still keep second place. And side by side, rubbing door handles, Ben takes the third place across the line, but it looks like he had a penalty as well and will probably drop to 4th. We'll check that. 5th for Jason, a lot better than the first race, and yeah, that is confirmed. And 6th for Sean, with Liam catching him very quickly at the end. 8th for Coleman, 9th for Ash, and looks like it's going to be 10th for Jeff. Jeff sneaking the last point on the last lap. Ian, despite having a good opportunity of points, comes away with nothing this race. And 12th it looked like for Leon, 13th for Chris, and 14th for Andrew. Would be very disappointed with that. So there's the results confirmed. So it's Nathan, Dylan, Lewis, Ben, Jason, Sean, Liam, Coleman, Ashley and Jeff the point scorers. So a great race, full of action, and the next races will be at Kyoto Raceway. And there's the championship standings for you. So it's Nathan 42, Ben 34, Dylan 28, Sean 18, Lewis 18, Liam 12, be kicking himself, he could have won that last race, Jason, Jeff, Ashley, Coleman and Andrew the other point scorers. But like I say, Kyoto next week, we'll hopefully see you there. Like and subscribe this race. See you for the next one at Kyoto.